Romance and relationships. Two different things that the movies continually attempt to show on film. Sometimes they make for some very powerful moments of cinema. Or sometimes they're played for laughs and comedic moments. Which is fine, everyone wants to go see movies like that once in a while. But sometimes there comes a film that really goes for realism, and tries to show us as real of a relationship as it can, capturing those feelings, moments, emotions, everything. I recently saw two films where romance gave way to relationship, and we watch two different couples and the things that happen to them. While the movies were made on opposite ends of the world, the themes and stories were connected. First up is Blue Valentine, a small film starring Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams. Blue Valentine was one of the most powerful films of 2010. Unlike the other great films of the year, it wasn't based on a true story, not specifically at least, and nor was it a huge innovation in filmmaking. It's a portrait of two people meeting in their mid-20s and growing into their 30s together. For a film that's so simple and realistic, it's filmed with a very surreal, almost nostalgic edge. At times, it's almost like we're watching a home video of this couple's life together. And what a couple! Dean and Cindy, two people who fall for each other and through a series of incidences end up married. We see them together with a little girl in the beginning, and as the film continues, we get scenes of their life together in the present while we cut to their first moments of romance 6 years before. Regrettably, the flashbacks show a much happier situation than the present-day scenes. The contrast in the scenes help jar us into seeing how much can change, even when some things stay exactly the same. One of the partners remains the same, while the other changes, dismayed at the other for not changing with them. Rather than using a linear storyline, we get fragments of early happiness placed next to the most unhappy times. We feel torn at how something started between these two, and now it's ending. The movie's very well edited, excellently paced, and features two of the best performances of 2010. Ryan Gosling was somehow denied a nomination, and if Natalie Portman hadn't won her deserved Oscar, I'd say Michelle Williams would have deserved it just as much. These two actors played two people in their 20s and also in their 30s. While a script was written, much of it was apparently improvised between the two thespians. The transformations they go through are very convincing, and the chemistry they had in their happy moments, as well as their moments of struggle trying to make the relationship work, well, it almost made me forget that they weren't a couple in real life. While Blue Valentine is certainly a powerful film about love discovered, it's meant to show how a romance cannot always lead to the healthiest of relationships. Meanwhile, we also have A Moment to Remember, a South Korean film made in 2004. A Moment to Remember was first mentioned to me via a recommendation by one of my viewers, and I really must express my full gratitude to them for raising my awareness of this film. This is one of the greatest love stories I've ever seen on film. Like the best love stories, there is as much tragedy as there is happiness. There are obstacles, there are successes, and there's possibly one of the most terrible things life can throw at someone. We watch as it all affects two young people who meet, fall in love, and try to make a marriage work. At the start of the film, Soo-jin is a young, forgetful woman who's dealing with a relationship turned sour. On a chance occasion, she buys a drink, and forgets to take it with her when leaving the store. Upon going back to get it, she bumps into Chol-soo, a carpenter who works for her father. Due to his employment, she meets him again, and the two begin to see each other eventually. All this sounds pretty brief in my review, but the movie takes its time to show us everything. The director's cut is 2.5 hours long, and well worth it. The extra time allows us to see these two develop a relationship that starts small, but grows into a marriage. Because it's a very well-written story, and because the actors are so charming and talented, I really got invested into the story, and I loved watching their budding romance. And when bad things come up, I felt bad for these two. They were so happy together, and they deserved to grow old together, but sometimes life delivers cruel results. It threatens to destroy these two and their marriage, and we watch as they deal with the problem. The movie's very well made, and it pulls us into the story with its simplicity and its realism. It makes the final scenes that much more poignant and powerful. While these two movies feature different stories and different characters speaking different languages, the themes are universal. The stories themselves are universal. We have a story about a romance that ends something two people had for several years, and we also have a story of love, in the face of life's unpredictability trying to destroy it. Whether the movie stars Canadian, American, or Korean actors, the stories have the potential to move us, and we can relate them to our own lives.